All right, part 2. Sorry, the alarm went off and cut the video off. So we're getting 2 videos here. So again, I did not take this coffee and water and stuff and throw it out the window. I have a container that I don't have a kitchen sink, so I have to be mindful of that. And so I have a container I pour it in, and then when I go to a fuel stop or there's a trash can, I throw it away. But I just don't throw stuff on the ground. That's not me. So anyhow, so now I'm getting my coffee ready. All right, and my coffee pot's done, and so now it's time to do toast. But I'm running a little behind because I'm showing this video, but that's okay. I want everybody to know what I do. All right, so pouring the coffee. I don't know if you can see it. Right? So there's my coffee. You can see it. And then what I do with my coffee pot is I put just a little bit of water in there because it cools it down, one, right? And then I'm cleaning it at the same time. And then I'll put the coffee pot back in the corner for now and let it sit so it can cool off. I put my lid on my coffee. I've already topped off my lemon water. And so these two are all set to go, and they go up front. And so what I did just now is sorry, I'm repositioning you guys. What I did just now is I set my Opti idle and I put it back in battery mode and turned the truck off. It's only been running for about 10 minutes. Just long enough to make coffee. So now we're gonna make some breakfast. My best friend is paper towels. So I use this here just in case I make a mess. I have this one here for my hand, and I'll use more paper towels here in just a bit. So, like, the coffee's done, the coffee pot's put in the corner, it's set to go, it's in cleaning mode, and now I'm going to take out my 1 slice of bread, right? 1 slice of whole wheat bread. And in just a minute, I will hit that toaster and start it. And I like my toast a little done, a little extra done. Some people like it just barely toasted where it's still soft. No, I like mine, just on the fringe of being burnt. But that, again, that's me. So, let me show you. Everybody wants to know. So, here's where I carry my water. There's 3 gallons behind the seat, and then there's 2 here, right? So, that's where the water stays. And I normally leave with 5. There we go. I usually leave with 5 gallons of water. Now, when I went out to Utah, I left with 7 because like I said, I go through almost a gallon of water a day. That's just how I am. That's what I do. And I have this long carpet I put here on the floor. So, let me show you inside the fridge because I know somebody's going to ask the question. So this is the inside of my fridge. This is all I have. I have 1 gallon of milk. I have 2 things of tuna fish. This is the yogurt that I have. I have 1 a day. right? So mayonnaise. This is where I keep my eggs. I take the egg carton, cut it in half, and it fits perfect. I keep my lemons here. I'm out of my onions and peppers, and I keep my butter. And so that's the only thing in my fridge. And besides the loaf of bread that you saw, that I have one slice a day, which usually lasts me right about 2 weeks. And I don't even finish it because I'm only doing one slice a day. That's all the food I have in this truck. And that's all the food that I live off of. So, and I don't get hungry. Now, up here in the seat, I got bananas. And I'll have like 2 bananas a day in between breakfast and dinner, which is about 6 to 7 hours after I eat breakfast. And that's all I eat. And it's plenty. I do not get hungry. I do not snack through the day like I used to. All that, breakfast bars, pretzels, that's all done. Sometimes I'll get a thing of peanuts, unsalted, roasted peanuts, unsalted. And I'll have that throughout the day. So right now, there's egg number 1 into the bucket or the bag. I crack it right inside the thing here. I used to mix it in a bowl and then pour it in, and then I got smart and like, why? I'll just make it right here in the pan, and then this way I don't have to worry about nothing, right? So all right, so that's in my trash, and then I've got 4 eggs left. All right, so that's Thursday and Friday. So if I'm getting home Saturday, I'm gonna have to get some more eggs or do a different alternative for breakfast, which is not an option. I guess it is if I'm forced to. But I pour a little bit of milk with my eggs, and so now I'm dropping the toast. Okay, so the toast is running right now, and this truck will not start again while I'm doing breakfast. So so now I take a plastic fork, and I use a different fork every day. I don't use the same utensil. Again, I don't have a kitchen sink, I don't have a dishwasher, I don't have, I don't need stuff growing, bacteria and getting sick and stuff like that. So I try to be smart about it. But while I'm scrambling the eggs, the toast is going. I've already made coffee. Coffee's done. My lemon water's done. The water for the trip, the first half of the trip, is there. So I've got just over 200 miles, 213 miles to go to my delivery. And so by the time I get there, I'll have to top that water off. There we go. All right. I'm not used to having people over for breakfast, especially in the truck. But I'm glad that some of you have asked. I'm glad that I ran into Dana there in Boonville, Missouri, and we struck up this conversation because I honestly need to get my butter out. I honestly didn't realize, when I was doing these videos, of course I'm talking about Mac all the time. And yes, I know Mac's the star of the show, and he's my buddy, right? And I take care of Mac. And there, my toast is done. I did not realize that I never thought about this part of it in the truck. Not so much the cooking and eating, but the appliances, and what you can and can't do, and how things work. Because I've talked to many drivers saying that it's impossible to cook in the truck. Well, I cook in the truck every day, and you're watching it right now. And so now my toast is done. The toaster's done. So now I just turn my skillet on. And you don't hear the power inverter going crazy, right? The only reason the truck started when I started making coffee is because the bunk heater's been running all night. So, and now that the truck turned on automatically while I was making coffee, once my coffee was done and I set my coffee and water up front, I turned the Opti-Idle off and then set it back up in battery mode. So if need be, if the truck needs to start, because it's still low voltage, it will. But now I just heard the power inverter beep once. So, but like I said, I only let the truck run for about 10 minutes. But my eggs will be done here in a minute. So this is my toast. Again, as soon as I'm done with the utensil, it's gone. It's out. I don't keep it. I use this fork, or the plastic fork, for eggs. As soon as I'm done mixing them, in the trash it goes. And then it gets out of this truck. So before I leave the yard here, I'm in Lenoir City. As soon as I leave the yard, I'll stop by the dumpster and throw this bag out. In this bag, I'll have all my trash. I'll have my coffee grounds. It has the eggshells in it. You know, it's trash. And I don't like to keep it in the truck. So I'll put a new bag right here. It's where I keep the bag. It sits behind the seat, right here by the cabinet. And so I'll put a new bag in here, and away to go. But I throw the trash out. And so while my eggs are cooking, I eat my toast. And I like my eggs done. You know, I'll eat them where they're a little bit runny sometimes, but my philosophy is it may sound weird, but I like to be able to bounce them across the table if I had to, you know, like when you're a kid and you're throwing food. But I like my eggs done. So that's just me. But this is how I have breakfast every day. And I'm glad I can share this with you. Because when I get done here, let me show you. I have 2 bottles here, 2 spray bottles. This is, I don't want to use the name of the product because I don't know what you can or can't do on YouTube. But this is dish soap and water, right? Spray it. And I take paper towel and scrub the pan and everything. This is just water. And then, so after I do all that, I spray it down. Here's the water. I also use this, spray my hair, because I don't know about you guys, but when I wake up in the morning, it's not a pretty sight. So, what do I do with my spatula? So now my eggs are getting like almost overdone, but that's all right. And now that they're pretty much done, I turn the skillet off because the skillet's gonna be hot for a little bit. And I let these things finish cooking. And again, normally I have my onions and peppers that I put in here, but I have run out. When I was in Bennett, Colorado, I had a little bit more than I normally do. And so here's my eggs, right? Just about done. And I'll let those sit there. And while those are finishing cooking, I have my toast. And then I'll have a yogurt. Then I eat the eggs last. So when I get out, after I clean this up, I get out, I'm gonna walk around this parking lot twice, right? That's gonna be close to 1,800 steps, because it's a big parking lot. Then I'll come over and do my pre-trip, and then I'm out. I'm hitting the road. And that's my daily routine. So I'm really glad that Dana asked this question, because she wants to try to eat better, do things different, be able to utilize the power in the truck. And I know eating in the truck, one, it saves money on the wallet, right? Two, it's better for you, because you know what you're getting, you know what you're making. And I've talked to drivers. There are some drivers, they're making chili in the truck, they're making goulash in the truck, they're doing ribs in the truck, and like in a crock pot kind of thing, and they make all kinds of food in the truck. Now, this all takes time, right? And we don't have a whole lot of time. We take a break. We're off duty for 10 hours. Well, what do I have to do in that 10 hours? I do my walk. I did my laundry. Then I get up an hour and a half before I gotta go, so I can get ready, get myself cleaned up, get ready to go, get dressed, make breakfast, be able to clean up after breakfast, take time to do a walk. So, sometimes things get left out, like maybe I can't walk because it's just been a long day. But my goal is to do it every day. And sometimes I break it up. Like, I'll do a little this morning after I drop this load, and I'll find out what I'm doing next. I might stop somewhere for a 30-minute break, and then that turns into a 45-minute break because I'm out walking. Maybe it's an hour break. And so I get my thoughts and I figure out, okay, where I gotta go, where I'm gonna fuel, where am I gonna stop, where am I gonna shower, where am I gonna sleep that night. I have to figure all this stuff out. And so it's trip planning. And you just can't say, all right, well, I'm gonna go from here to here, and then that's where I'm staying tonight. It doesn't work that way, because you get to some places and there's no place to park. So I have a rule, A, B, C, and D, right? That's the first available spot, the second. If this one's full, I go to this one. If this one's full, I go to this one. This one's full, I can't go any farther than here. So I have to start playing in here. And even though I may stop an hour and a half early on my clock, where I still have an hour and a half on my clock, right? I try to run my clock to the end every day and utilize the clock so I can get as far as I can, so I can go farther tomorrow. The farther I go, the more miles I get, the more money I make. Simple. But when I do my trip planning, I got A, B, C, and D. And if I stop at A and there's no parking, I go to B. One of these 4 spots, I'm going to find a spot to park. That's the plan. And sometimes I have to stop at A, and I might still have an hour and 45 minutes left of my drive time. But I'm stopping here because likelihood of parking somewhere over here is very slim to none. But I have to plan that every day, just in case, because what I don't want to do is run my clock out and run out of hours and still be looking for a place to park. Because what will happen with if you do that, and if you go in violation, right, over 11 hours you're in violation, and then some people put it in personal conveyance and they'll notate it, right? Looking for parking, no parking available. Well, The Department of Transportation and our safety department went to the same school of hard knocks. And so when you try to run as far as you can and there's no parking, and then you're forced to use personal conveyance or forced to go over your drive time and cause a violation, here's what they tell you. Both of them. You should have planned better. They don't care that that you have an hour left on your clock or 2 hours left on your clock. They don't care that you're running it down to the minute. That's the driver's choice to do that. So I have to pre-plan and pre-trip my run every day. And every run I get is different. Yes, I do a lot of the same runs. And so I know a lot of the same places I go. But like this one here, going to South Carolina, I don't go to this customer all the time. And so depending on what I do next, I don't know where I'm going to end up. So as soon as I find out where I'm going to go, then I have to plan. All right, what's my end day? I'm starting here. I got to get here. How much time do I have left, and where am I going to park? That's my main concern right there. Because you run out of hours and you're still looking for parking, DOT and the safety department is going to say it's your fault. You should have planned better. That's what they tell you. And there's no sympathy with it or anything. It's just hard, cold, blunt. You should have planned better. Here's your violation. And so I don't mess around with my logs, like I told you before. So some days I have a full day, some days I have less than a full day, and it's because of parking. Parking is terrible out here on the road, and every person that drives a truck knows that. It's virtually impossible in some areas, and so anyhow, I'll get off that. We're talking about breakfast. So anyhow, so my eggs are cooling off, and so I have my yogurt here, and I got one left, so I'm going to take this container and get rid of it, because as I get it, I get rid of it. I don't like the trash in my truck. So, and I got to get rid of it when I can get rid of it, because what happens if you break down, right? And then all of a sudden you got to be towed, or you have a situation where your truck's got to go in the shop. The last thing you want to do is say, well, give me 50 minutes so I can clean the truck up so you can get under the bunk and whatever else. I clean as I go. And so when I leave here, the bed is made, everything's put away so it will ride properly, which it is right now. All I got to do is clean up the skillet, put my roll of paper towels away, and I'm good, right? Because everything else is right where it's supposed to be. And I do that as I go, because there's not a whole lot of room in here. But it's cozy, it's like camping, right? For those who like to go out camping and be outdoors and everything, this is the job for you. Because, you're always in different places. You go different places all the time. And that's one of the things I like about this job, is you meet a lot of different people and you go a lot of different places, and you can, it's not like you can always explore and everything, but you can see what's going on. So, this is how I do breakfast. And I'm glad I could share this with you. And I don't think you want to sit here and watch me eat the rest of my food. But as you can tell, I made coffee, toast, my water. I showed you the fan. I cooked my eggs in my skillet. I'm eating my yogurt. And once this is done, I'm out of here. And I cooked it all in the truck. No problem. So any questions with the appliances that I use, what you can and can't do, what you can and can't cook in the truck, ask. I'll be more than happy to help you. So I have a 1400 watt inverter in here, and as you can see, it handles everything just fine. So, and when I use the microwave, by the way, it's never tripped the truck to start. So it's a 700 watt microwave, and I used to use it a lot when I eat differently. You know, I'd have some stuff in the freezer or stuff in the fridge that, you know, I heat up. Now, like when I had the rotisserie chicken that I cut up, you know, like a turkey, I put it in a Ziploc bag and I eat that within 4 days, right? Sometimes I have it breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whatever. And sometimes I eat the chicken cold. Sometimes, now it's already cooked, it's rotisserie chicken. Sometimes I eat it cold. Sometimes I'll take it and I'll put it in a paper bowl and I'll throw it in the microwave for like 35, 40 seconds just to heat it up. And, you know, but I don't use the microwave a whole lot. Not anymore. But I used to use it all the time. And it works great. So, and it's tied down, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't make any noise. You know, again, I put the glass plate, I wrap it up in a towel and leave it in here. Here's the plate. And I wrap it up in this towel like this. Doesn't want to cooperate because it's not on camera, but like this. And I put it in there and it doesn't rattle while I drive. I do not like rattles, period. So, but anyhow, on that note, thanks for watching. Thanks for asking. Thanks for supporting this channel. Thanks for all the subscribers that have subscribed. I'll get it out. And all the viewers. We're building a good community here, and I feel good about it. And one thing I like to do is I like to help. I like to help people. I like to extend my hand. And it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. We're all equal, right? No one's better than anybody. We're all here to do the same thing, survive, right? And help each other. By helping each other, we grow together, right? Knowledge is power. And so, you know, that's what I'm trying to do here. And it seems to be working. I'm talking to people, I'm running into people, and it really feels good when I can help somebody. So, and that's free. That doesn't cost nothing. So, anyhow, I want everyone to have a nice day. Be safe today. I gotta get going. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Have a very nice day. See ya. Bye. I'll give